Hello and good morning from Santander in the north of Spain. No, I'm not here to catch that ferry back home to Britain, but rather I'm here to check out one of Renfe's narrow gauge FEVE trains. But first, we need to head and check out the station. While located in a different building, the Santander FEVE station is only a stone's throw away from the mainline station, so it's easy to transfer between the two should you need to. The FEVE station here dates from the 1940s. Entering the station, there's really not a lot. Just a small cafe, a ticket sales counter, and a ticket machine. Now, with my most used phrase while I was in Spain being "no hablo español," I had hoped to buy my ticket on the machine, so that I didn't have to bother the member of staff on the ticket counter with speaking English. However, as I'm sure anyone who's ever tried buying a ticket from Renfe, whether it be on their website or from one of these ticket machines will tell you, hitting English doesn't do a right lot, with all the options still being in Spanish, so I had to give in and just go to the counter. Anyway, eventually I did get my ticket, so it's time to head through to the platform for boarding. We'll be taking a Cercanías or commuter train to a place called Cabezón de la Sal, a small town about 45 kilometres or 28 miles from here. Departure is scheduled for 11:15. To gain access to the platforms, you simply tap your ticket on the reader and the gate will open. And here's a look at what will be taking us on our short journey today. I must say, I'm loving that the train on the left is still in the old FEVE livery. It's just a shame that this isn't our chariot for today. Anyway, these are 3800 series electric multiple units that were built by CAF in the early 1990s. Oh, and if you're wondering what FEVE stands for, well, I'm going to spare you having to listen to me butchering its pronunciation, but it simply translates into English as narrow gauge railways, a reference to the fact that these trains operate on meter gauge tracks, as opposed to the much wider Iberian and, more recently, standard gauge tracks that are more commonly used here in Spain. Anyway, I think it's time we got on board. As this is only a relatively short journey, I think we'll take a look around the train before we depart. Being a commuter train, the interior is pretty basic, with seating being arranged in bays of 4, either side of the aisle. Fold-out seating, aimed at those with reduced mobility, can be found towards the carriage ends. While there are no larger stacks, overhead racks are provided for storing your luggage. And lastly, a dedicated wheelchair space can be found at one end of each unit. Anyway, let's take a look at what these seats have to offer. The legroom offered is actually much better than I was expecting. The seats themselves, however, are rock hard and not really great for any length of time at all. And that's it. There are no plug sockets or anything like that, so bear this in mind before boarding. Anyway, before we set off, we should probably take a quick look at our route for today. Well, as I said earlier, just a pretty short journey today, as we head southwest from Santander and via Torrelavega to Cabezón de la Sal. Scheduled travel time is around 1 hour and 20 minutes. As for our top speed, well, I'm not sure on the exact number, but I believe it's in the region of 100 kilometers an hour or 62 miles an hour, which is the train's design top speed. And we depart Santander on time at 11:15. As we make our way out of Santander, we pass a freight depot. Besides the passenger trains, quite a bit of freight seems to be moved on these narrow gauge lines as well.
Atención, estación total de paso habilitado para cruzar las vías. Por su seguridad, extreme la atención y pide.
Unfortunately, it would appear that much of the FEVE network or at least the bit I saw of it, is in need of a bit of an uplift, with many of the stations being plagued with graffiti. Also, a lot of the stations don't seem to have anything to say where they are, or at least not that I could see, so sorry that I've missed the names of a few. It doesn't take long for us to make our way out of Santander, and we soon find our way into the sun-bathed Spanish countryside. Despite our relatively short journey today, there's actually quite a bit of pleasant scenery as we make our way through the rolling hills of Cantabria. Fed up of having to sit through ads? Yeah, me too. That's why I set up Patreon and channel members pages, so you can get ad-free early access to videos for as little as $1 per month. By far our most notable stop today is Torrelavega, which is known for the nearby cave of Altamira, which features a large number of prehistoric paintings, some of which are estimated to be around 36,000 years old.
Altamira.
Próxima parada,
San Pedro de Rudagüera.
Now, you didn't think I'd forgotten, did you? Each unit has one toilet, located at one end of the train. However, unfortunately, not a right lot worked in here. So, some final thoughts as we approach the end of our journey today. I must say, I do really like Spain's quirky little FEVE trains. Now sure, they're not exactly state of the art, and nor do they offer a particularly high level of comfort. But they do provide rail service to small towns and villages that otherwise probably wouldn't have a rail connection. And the tickets on these services are pretty cheap too. My return ticket cost me €6.85. Now, for an open ticket, not fixed to any specific train, I think that's really good value in my opinion. So, I thought that these were cool little trains, but what did you make of the Renfe FEVE experience? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Anyway, welcome to Cabezón de la Sal, where I'd love to say we arrived on time, but I honestly can't remember what exact time we were supposed to arrive. Regardless, I don't remember us arriving much more than a few minutes late at most. With that, I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to help us out by giving it a like. If you're new to the channel, then be sure to subscribe and enable notifications as I publish new trip reports every Friday. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next Friday.
Sí, extraño, tú cambiando de pantalones y de camiseta. Ya salí.